YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and guess what? I have the first replay submission for our Fort Soll challenge. Right now, this is the only replay submission, after a bunch of people said that they would probably participate. So I would say that once Aspiring Amoeba here is on a fast track to a $100 Steam card, if you all don't want to challenge him. If not, it'll just be me giving him a very nice Christmas present, which I'm okay with. And so we got our first setup here. Going to be battling at Fort Soll. One of the things I didn't make terribly clear in my video, I did leave a pinned comment, and I will make it okay now, is you can have as many enemies as you can fit in the slot. Your army can't change. It has to be what I put in the video. I saw a few people saying, oh, if I add this or take away this. No, it has to be, your army has to be exactly this army. And the enemies can be whatever you want, as long as it's under 75,000 spend per enemy army. You can add more enemy. Of course, you can always make it harder in order to make the challenge more interesting. And here we're going to see once Inspiring Amoeba take on several enemies, and it's going to include Skaven, vampires, and greenskins. And no doubt my computer is going to absolutely be on its knees for this, because this is a lot of unit models all on the battlefield. If we take a look here, this is about 13,000 unit models that's going to be on the screen, so rest in pieces my graphics card and processor, but hopefully you all enjoy this one. Let's see how he set up his defense. There's already some pretty severe frame lag going on here. So he's got his Feuerschützen and some handgunners. He's using the ramp similar to what I did in the campaign. He's got a Witch Hunter, his 2 steam tanks, and then he's got a Blitzschützen. This unit causes massive damage. It has very limited ammo, decent melee afterwards. He's got Eisenbombers, so what's interesting is that I'm getting 50-something frames per second, but it looks like it's about 2 or 3 the way the animations are working. Eisenbombers right above them, so I mean, this group right here alone can stop a massive melee blob for at least a short amount of time. They're backed up by the grenade-launching Outriders, and then he's got a handgunner and his Jaegerkorps long rifle up on the wall over here with a nice line of fire. Up on the garrison, let's see what he's got. He's got some Free Company militia spread out really wide, which is to activate the towers. So yeah, it looks like 3 of those units spread out across the walls just to activate the towers to get their extra damage in. That is probably a good call. I can't call out all the enemy units, but we can see quite a lot of Black Orcs here and a huge number of Skaven. Alright, I turned the graphics down to medium, hoping that that might help the frame rate, and it really doesn't. The Total War engine is just broken whenever you get this many units on the battlefield, so rest in pieces. Alright, so to split the difference, I left it on high, but I made it to where the corpses will disappear after 30 seconds, which means that eventually the battle should start to clean up some, so we're just going to have to live with relatively slow frame rates through the beginning of it. You can see his Free Company militia not necessarily causing a lot of damage, but being a nice hold up here. Now, of course, the enemies do not get access to siege equipment, and sometimes I wonder if the frame lag, whenever you get into these battles in the Total War engine, is sometimes just the AI making too many movement orders. That I know that could be the case sometimes in older Total Wars. We'll see. Anyway, here comes the ladders. Nice job manning the walls and doing what damage could be done. I think we're going to see the Free Company militia start to fall back, and the good thing about me turning off the corpses is that as more and more units die and disappear, it should start to take some stress off the engine. I would love to leave it where the corpses were all over the battlefield for obvious reasons from a cinematic standpoint, but it's going to be an absolute train wreck, and it's already somewhat of a train wreck trying to show these big battles. So I mean, I still like watching these, but it does prove one thing to us, which is something that I've been calling for a while on my channel now, which is I want Creative Assembly to really put a lot more focus into making battles like this possible. You know, to me, this is a clear game engine limitation. I'm still getting, you know, close to 30 frames a second. You're not seeing 30 frames a second out of the animations and stuff, because clearly there's some kind of graphical engine limitation going on here. It'd be really cool to see Total War scale better, meaning that if you have lower end technology in your computer, it would scale well, meaning you could turn down the graphics a bit, turn down the unit sizes and stuff, and the engine will utilize what system you do have well, versus say like my system here where I've got you know, 12 cores, 24 threads, and a very high-end GPU. Like, if it can do a better job utilizing all that, it would be great. But, you know, you never know what's going on. I don't understand game development, so I may just be talking hot smoke out of my butt. So here we are. We're going to see the defense. I'm going to fast forward for a minute because basically we're just waiting on the enemies to get over the walls. Even the fast forward here is going to go relatively slow. You can see the timer up here clicking by not anywhere near 3 times the speed. If I turn away from all those, it might speed up a little bit. It did. So I'm going to fast forward. You can see that, again, here, this is a lag, I think, being generated in the game engine itself. More than it is graphics or CPU at the moment, though those can be a problem. So let's see who's firing the handgunners, it looks like, and a couple other units may have line of sight. It looks like the Black Orcs busted the gate open, and they're going to be some of the first ones to come through. There's zombies and storm vermin like the council guard up on the walls, and now the great shooting begins, and we're going to have to put up with some more fairly sluggish frame rates, but the initial setup here is very effective. The Blitz shoots and hasn't even had to open fire, but you got the 2 steam tanks and then the 3 units of Free Company just absolutely hosing the enemy troops at the gate. This is a strategy I myself use. If I were him, though, I'd be very careful with the ammunition of my Blitz shoots, and it is very limited and very powerful. Seems like it'd be a good one to save for just the right moment. Now the rockets are just shooting right here into the gatehouse. That is not a bad plan at the moment because they're going to get a ton of kills. They've already got a lot of kills. 197 on one, 52 on another. The Hellblaster volley guns already racked up 70 kills. So using the artillery very effectively here at the gate, at least in my opinion. Let's take a look at the kill counts here. Already 1,000 enemy troops roughly that have fallen, and we're going to see it's going to just keep headed that way. The Black Orcs are about to rout. Zombies were crumbling. Spearmen crumbling. The artillery here is just getting fantastic shots. This is very well played. This is very well played for efficiency here, meaning he knows that a whole bunch of AI troops are going to have to bottleneck here. This is probably a ground attack order. It kind of does look like a ground attack order for the artillery right here in the gatehouse because so many AI troops are trying to force through the gatehouse. Now, some of you might be like, well, the AI is stupid. Makes this, well, that's just part of the challenge. You can add as many AI units as you want. In this case, he has a bunch of infantry. You can add larger units if you want to make it more challenging. But, you know, he's going, obviously, for large numbers here, and he's going to succeed if he wins, which I'm assuming he wouldn't have submitted this had he not won, because it wouldn't be submissible. Helman Gorst and the Gorst cart gets shut down. Let's take a look at the kill count. Yeah, it's dropping rapidly. Now down over 2,000 unit models. You can see a bunch of zombies starting to make their way onto the battlefield. Still no use of the ammo on the Blitzschützen or the Eisenbombers. I like this. I think this is a smart conservation of that ammunition because it is precious, and if you're going to be fighting these huge battles, you would want other units to use up their ammo first. Let's see if the Feuerschützen, they have used some of their ammunition. I don't see them firing at the moment. They're also a very powerful unit. They do tremendous damage. So those are, I think, some of the key units. The Feuerschützen, the Blitzschützen, and the Eisenbombers can all do tremendous damage to enemy units here. I'm going to zoom off just a little bit, kind of let you all see what the AI is doing. Right now the AI is trying to cram most of its units through the gatehouse, but it still has a whole bunch of units at the gates. So again, CA pleased with the AI. But hey, again, this is supposed to recreate a campaign environment, and this is totally possible in a campaign environment because the AI is going to be in control of the army. And these rocket shots are just absolute gold. Look at this, 1,200 kills, 1,600 kills, and the kill count is going to be climbing fast. So, I mean, this is actually looking like this could turn into an extremely efficient victory, where he's going to get nearly 12,000 kills for almost no losses. I mean, in fact, four losses for almost half of the enemy troops being destroyed. So remember, efficiency is going to be one of the measures I'm going to put on this, meaning how efficiently can you destroy your enemy. And I mean, this is pretty dang efficient. It doesn't get a whole lot more efficient than that. Look at that, 1,600 kills, 1,800 kills on the other rocket. So I mean, there is just a unreal killing going on. And then nice conservation, I think, of the ammunition. We're now going to see a couple of shots from the Eisenbombers potentially coming in as the Free Company militia and steam tanks are holding back the tide of zombies and council guard. Looks like more Infantry are trying to squeeze through the gates. It looks like the Jaeger Corps long rifles have now been activated too. There's some Skaven slaves up on the walls, and a whole lot of Skaven have come over the walls, and be curious to see what these Skaven do. One of them has gone up here. This is the Death Runners, and a nice defense left here, and I like this, a way to make sure that the enemy can't quickly or too easily get to the capture point, because AI will try that sometimes. So the Death Squad has now become visible to these Outriders and Free Company militia, so this was a big win, keeping these units back here. And then I love the way they're used on the elevation here as well. So good call there. Some of the units must have defensive stakes now as they is that the I don't know which units had the defensive stakes. Interesting. Some of them must have it. Maybe it's handgunners or some other unit. I don't know what it is, which unit had it, but he's got them deployed there. Yeah, the rockets continue to do their work. The AI trying to force through the gates was just absolute stupidity. Both rockets now have about 4,000 kills. Between the two rockets, it's about 4,000 kills. Still a lot of Skaven, mostly slave units. So nothing too powerful there. Let's look at the Death Squad here. Did manage to get itself into combat. It's doing a little bit of damage over here, so some of that efficiency now slipping away as these Outriders aren't getting particularly good shots. You can line up here on the ramp, and it can be effective, but that really kind of limits you to just this field of fire. Just as a fun tip for other folks who are trying this, when you're setting up a defense here, sometimes you should try just backing your units off and then putting them like this. And then if the AI chooses to go to this side, they get shot from here, and they get shot by both while coming up. If they go this way, then they get shot from the opposite side. So you can set up kill boxes like that, just as a fun tip for anybody else who's going to try this. But I mean, so far, this is honestly looking really, really nice here. This is looking very, very good for the Fort Soll defense team, and over 7,000 or around 7,000 enemy unit models killed. So I'd say pretty effective. If we look at the Free Company down here, they're up around 100 kills. And my frame rate's starting to smooth out finally, so we've now gotten down below the limitations of the Total War engine here, which is great. So it's obviously somewhere in this vicinity. So now we should get a little more cinematic appearance. Look at the Eisenbombers here. So the Eisenbombers, I want to cover this unit too in this replay. The Eisenbombers actually here. High armor, same thing with the Blitzschützen, both pretty good armor, and both fairly decent melee stats. So they're really a unit, I like them being used as a reserve higher up on the elevation here. It allows them to fire and use their ammunition sparingly, and serve as more of a last line of defense rather than a front line defense, burning your ammo quickly on whatever units come forward first. There's going to be an Outrider with grenade launcher coming through here, and we're going to see them looking to come and help clean out the Death Squad. The Death Squad is now supported by some Skaven slave spears, and they cut their way through the Free Company militia. There's also Black Orcs, so could be a bit of a problem here. Some more Free Company militia coming from the other side to help protect. Nothing threatening the... Well, there is a Black Orc making a run on the other side, so we'll see how that goes. But in terms of units here, yeah, so now a couple hundred units lost for the Defender because of some of the melee that had to go on here. Let's see how these units are doing ammunition-wise. The handgunner's doing good. The Jaeger Corps long rifle cleaning up 275 kills. But I mean, when you're up against 12,000 enemies, you're going to have to get a lot of kills. And some of you may be like, "Air, this is too easy. It's basically over." I mean, the AI still has a lot of troops out here, and the rockets are going to run out of ammunition. What I wonder, though, is if the AI is going to continue to send these troops up the walls, or eventually if it will start to send more towards the gatehouse, especially with the rockets being out of ammunition. So we'll see what happens. Look at this, the Blitzschützen unleashing their wrath, and it is unleashed on Skaven slaves. Look at that, though, how quickly they burn their ammunition, very quickly. Someone was like, "Oh, this defense will be really easy if I just pick the new munition wagon unit that gives you more ammo." Nope, not allowed. Obviously, that would make it way too easy, because the Blitzschützen alone could probably mow down everything as long as it had that munition wagon to keep resupplying it. So, yep, no munition wagons allowed for you, unfortunately, in this one, though. That would be pretty hilarious just to see how many kills a Blitzschützen could get, given the appropriate ammunition. It would be disgusting. If by disgusting, I mean delicious. In any case, the AI continues to funnel in its units. It looks like right now it's mostly using the walls. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. The rockets are almost out of ammunition. You can see the power bar is still very much in favor. the attacking troops just because of the huge numbers advantage, but the way in which the AI is attacking right now is very inefficient. So apparently this will also give us some insight into the AI, and unfortunately for the AI, this route is now clear, and don't get me wrong, you lost a lot of units here. You would hope the AI could take that into consideration, but with this route clear and no more ammunition, or very limited ammunition left on the artillery, the AI is absolutely redonkulous for not using this path coming in here. But again, this may just give you all some ideas. Clearly, though, if you're looking for some real impressive victories, lots of very powerful single entity models or big monstrous models, and they would have to come through the gate. You could also give the AI artillery. The AI may attempt to punch holes in the walls. That could change things again. And remember that this contest is not just sheer kills. I'm going to look at the number of kills you achieved. I'm going to look at the efficiency with which you got those kills. And I'm also going to be looking at the challenge of the enemy armies that you brought. The challenge of this enemy army really appears to be, in my opinion, endurance. How many enemies can you endure and kill? And then the efficiency rating is honestly pretty darn good. I mean, there's been an enormous number of kills for relatively few losses. But as the ammunition starts to wane, I'd be curious to see how this one plays out. The 2 steam tanks may become a very important factor here. I see the 1 steam tank. The other one may have been pulled off. Did it get a temporary assignment somewhere else, or did we lose a steam tank? The unit model would disappear, so it'd be hard for me to know. No, the steam tank came over here to help fend off the attack on the flank. I figured he hadn't lost the steam tank yet. But yeah. See the Feuerschützen now being brought to bear late in the game, and they've got a clean line on Queek Headtaker. I'll let you all see this one, just what the Feuerschützen are capable of. It is obnoxious, like how good they are. As you all know, if you've been watching my Golden Order campaign, these guys in the hands of Balthasar get increased armor, lots of increased firepower. And they get particularly obnoxious. I think at one point, while I had a special effect in play, my Feuerschützen had like over 100 missile damage. It was absolutely absurd in a wonderful way that I approved of wholeheartedly. The Queek is resisting this better than I thought, but he's getting shellacked. I think it's just the fact that he's a small unit model that's really saving him here. Let's check out the Eisenbombers. Yeah, 282 kills, very effective. Wonder where the Blitzschützen got to. Let's take a look. Wonder if they went into... Yeah, they went into melee after expending their ammunition. This is a good place for them. Right now, the Blitzschützen are being hit by an armor sundering. And I don't know who is imparting that right now. Unless it's coming from something like the Eisenbombers. I'm trying to remember which of the other units would have had an armor sundering effect, but they're certainly suffering from it. It's not the Feasters. It may be coming from the missile strength of the Eisenbombers. Let's take a look. I don't see an armor sundering here. Let's see. Yeah, but they're definitely suffering. Yeah, there it's back to normal. So something was imparting. It may have been. Was it Queek? Wonder if it was Queek. Yes. It was Queek that was doing it. So Queek was dropping their armor. But they are a tough melee unit. You can see here that they managed to hold out and pick up a few more kills. But I mean, really, you're starting to get fairly limited on units, and there's still 2,700 enemy troops left, and you still got to deal with Grimgor Ironhide too. And if you don't have ammunition, dealing with Grimgor is going to be a pain in the butt. So you can see here the zombies and vampires still pushing their way through the gates. Let's fast forward here, and I'm going to stick it on fast forward for a while. Just gonna let this play out. It'll still be slow because of the number of units. CA please. But I mean, my frame rate's steadily improving. We're now up to 47 frames per second, and the fast forward is almost working. I think we're going faster than 1-to-1 on the seconds. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely improve. Oh my goodness, the Eisenbombers just shredded that Graveguard with great weapon. That was a huge loss for the enemy there, because that unit had gotten up here in mostly good health. And then the Eisenbombers just crapped all over it. Look at that, 512 kills. This unit is going to be most effective. Obviously, it's only a short-range unit. It's going to be most effective when you get a good blob going and then just unleash it on the blob, kind of like they've been doing here. So I like the positioning of the Eisenbomber here. I think it's relevant. Let's look at the final kills in the Hellstorm. 2367 and 2200 roughly here. So massive kills. Just massive kills. What is it, about 4,500 kills between the rocket batteries, and then the Hellblaster gun has picked up 624, which is nothing small, but I mean, when you have over 12,000 units attacking, you're going to have to get that many kills almost everywhere. Let's look at this. The enemy finally putting together a flank attack, but it's going to be met by Free Company militia and handgunners here, so pretty good positioning. I think the Free Company, I don't even know if it's intentional, but they left a small gap right here, and the handgunners just ran out of ammo. They're going to have to sling into to melee. Free Company are going to be a little more at home in melee than the handgunners. You'll definitely want to make sure you're using all the ammo on your handgunners because they have that nice armor-piercing value. Let's take a look here. One steam tank up front, and Grimgor is here. He must have got, I don't know what he got tore up by. Maybe it was the Feuerschützen on the way in, but Grimgor got pretty tore up. He's in bad shape, and he wasn't able to help take down the steam tank, so that's a big loss for the AI here too. But, I mean, there is very little ammunition left. Very little ammunition left, so can they endure 2,200 enemies with very little ammunition left at hand? Jaeger Corps are not going to be good in melee afterwards, but you'll see here this spear unit is not actually a spear unit. That's the Feuerschützen. They've used their ammunition, and then they kind of have like a transform ability, and they put a bayonet on the end of their gun. It cannot be switched back that I'm aware of. And once you go into the melee, they're better in melee, but you're stuck in melee. So I'm assuming at this point that once Inspiring Amoeba use the Feuerschützen this way, and you can see that once they transform over, they're not fantastic, but I mean 65 armor, better attack and defense obviously than like sword units. Pretty solid. Their weapon strength becomes anti-large, but there's not a lot of large targets here, so the steam tank is going to have to be a big-time tool here. You can see there's another one over here tearing through the Tithe zombies. This is where you're going to really rely on them. But stuff like this, the Graveguard with Great Weapon, they'll definitely do a lot of damage to that steam tank. Savage Orcs here with these gold chevrons. This is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. We'll see whether or not he can pull this off. I'm not 100% sure whether he can defend against this with what he's got left. May just get completely overrun. I mean, unless you can get the power bar to flip. And I think Grimgor ran off. I don't know if he came back. I don't see him on the map. Yeah, I don't see a star for the red forces, so Grimgor must have been shattered or killed. One of the two. Look at this. The grenade launcher Outrider's still a little bit of ammunition left. So, nice use here. And look at this. The steam tank getting chopped up fast because now it's stuck in combat with Graveguard with Great Weapon. You're going to have to watch the power bar here. You lose something like a steam tank, and it's going to hurt bad. You can see this steam tank doesn't want to be over here alone, and I don't blame it. They should definitely team up. They can cause more damage and get some support from some of these other units here. Looks like the Feuerschützen's in more of a defensive position. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's a little further up rather than being down here in the melee. But we're going to definitely need that. You know, let's fast forward for a minute again, just kind of see what happens. No more ammo left on the Hellblaster gun. Over here, a Free Company is all that's holding the line. And there's some Savage Orcs headed that way. The Free Company will lose to those Savage Orcs almost assuredly. And then same thing over here. But the Free Company's up top. They're going to let the handgunners take that charge. And look at this. Tithe zombies, more zombies. Oh my gosh. Stearnsman. Yeah, there's a stout melee threat headed the way of the Fort Soll defenders. I'm starting to wonder whether this is actually a win that he submitted. And it may be a pretty epic one if he does end up winning, because he's still outnumbered over 3-1 at the moment. And you got a steam tank on its last legs here. Witch Hunter is now engaged in a desperate melee. I'm assuming this steam tank's just going to sit it out for a little while. And now that there's a good blob, looks like the Outriders with grenade launchers maybe trying to come over and get a couple of shots into this blob. Here comes the second tank to help out. You got more Skaven slaves piling in. Yeah, you now have a problem because you're relying on the artillery crews to help hold the line against a Savage Orc, which is quickly cutting its way up to the capture point. And then over here, fortunately for the defenders, the Free Company were able to leverage their position and shoot up that Savage Orc unit. So that was a great save by Once Inspiring Amoeba. We're going to continue to watch this here. Ooh, one of the steam tanks is pretty savaged. The Witch Hunter's in rough position here. But last couple of volleys coming in from the Outrider with grenade launcher, and they are being used quite well, in my opinion, quite well. Feuerschützen still standing here as a line of defense, but I mean, there's only so long they're going to be able to stay in this fight. Looks like the other steam tank just using its missile weapon at this point, trying to get all the ammunition out. And good call on shooting the Sternsman. That's going to be a particularly dangerous unit left. Still outnumbered 3-1, and the Witch Hunter is now gone. So the defenders definitely in a very rough spot here. We're going to see a charge of the Outriders with grenade launchers. I wonder if the other tank's just determined to use its ammunition, if possible. And probably should. Here comes, it's going to try and support in melee. You can route units like Savage Orcs, you can't route some of the others. Looks like the handgunners from over here. There was a free company. Yeah, this free company still has ammunition. It's going to position at the top of the fort here. And just barely the defenders were able to hold out against the Savage Orcs and some Skaven slaves. So pretty epic defense there. The steam tanks are in a desperate fight right now. Still outnumbered. I think roughly 3-1, maybe a little more, a little less, depending on whether my math is accurate there. The AI has most of its troops inside the fort at this point. This Sternsman, that is going to be a mess to deal with. But if they can maybe get the power bar to flip, then you'd be in good shape. Yeah, the Witch Hunter's kind of barely alive over here. Let's see where that Free Company militia got to. It's over here thinking about using the ramp against the Sternsman. Now, what you could do is try to get that Sternsman, let's say maybe position these cheap artillery units right here, and then try and use the Free Company militia to shoot the Sternsman directly in, say, like an unshielded flank, which you could do with the position of these units right here. Get the Sternsman to attack it, and then shoot directly into the unshielded flank. That would be one way to go. Let's go back up. The two steam tanks still alive. There's not a lot of armor piercing left. And so it is going to be difficult for the enemy to cut its way through the steam tanks at this point. Plus, they're gaining chevrons as the battle goes along, which I think will add to its melee defense, which isn't much to begin with. It's just a fallback. The steam tanks may be falling back. Now remember, the steam tanks can run out of main gun ammunition, but they never run out of steam turret ammunition. So you can do some kiting, potentially, of the units with the steam turret. Now, let's see how this plays out. The Sternsman was attacking a unit here. I'm a little worried that these Free Company militia may get their line of sight blocked, and they're firing right into the shield of these Sternsmen. They're going to definitely need to get some flank shots in if they hope to clean them up with what little ammo they have left. I mean, if they can kill unit models, it'll be beneficial, but dealing damage to the Sternsmen won't be enough because they'll heal the damage. Yeah, it looks like the steam tanks are falling back and maybe looking to make a final stand. Ooh, yeah, numbers-wise, this is still going to be a rough battle. Look at this. An enemy unit, the Crypt Ghouls, is on the capture point. So the steam tanks are definitely beelining for the Crypt Ghoul. You do have this unit of stakes here that came from one of the DLC units. Now, the stakes are basically, just imagine it like a unit that's stationary here and very weak. They're basically just to slow down an enemy unit. They won't cause a tremendous amount of damage. Yeah, the capture is on. And the Sternsman did get engaged. They're being shot now kind of in the shielded flank, but it's still a flank. And a fair number of their unit models have been dropped. About 12 more unit models, 13 there. So we're going to see the Free Company pulling this fight back. And I'm finally getting decent frame rates again, so hopefully you all put up with this long enough at the beginning. Let's see what happens here. Can Once Inspiring Amoeba pull this Once Aspiring Amoeba? Can he become the Inspiring Amoeba by pulling off the win here? I think he could. Like, for instance, like if this steam tank continues to kind of hold the attention, or maybe this one with more hit points, and then let the other one use its steam gun. So I kind of like this, the point-blank shooting and the steam gun use. This is going to play out very nicely at getting rid of these Crypt Ghouls, so well done. Excellent play here. You're going to get some Free Company militia. If you use these guys as body blockers, you should be able to use the steam turrets on the tank to finish the work that you need to. And all you got to do is take out a few more Savage Orcs and some zombies, and I think you can pull yourself out of victory here. But as far as numbers go, I mean, this is a huge number of enemies and a lot of fighting that has had to be dealt with in melee, and most of these gun units are not ideal for melee. Free Company militia are okay in a melee. They're okay. They're not great. They're just okay. Let's see here. The Sternsman going to be attacked by the Free Company. This steam tank is in dire straits. I would say that this one needs to try and stay out of combat and just use its steam gun ammunition, which again is infinite. I believe the steam tank in close proximity can continue to fire its steam gun indefinitely. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. We'll watch this one here and see whether it does fire. Let's see if it goes straight through. That's kind of what I was expecting. Go straight through. Let's see if it'll get a steam gun shot in here. Nope, it's just charging through at the moment. The sternsmen are in pretty dire straits. And you can see the power bar actually just crept back just a tiny bit, even though the numbers game's still very unfavorable for the defenders. But if you get rid of the sternsmen, I feel like you can get rid of anything else coming in. There is a Savage Orc here that's pretty strong, but their leadership will give out if some of this other stuff starts to go. So let's fast forward and just kind of watch this again. So here comes some Savage Orcs. So a very desperate situation for the defender here. You got a steam tank down to its last 400 or so hit points. And these zombies are unbreakable. And they have triple chevrons, so it's going to be a pain in the butt to get these guys to crumble. Here comes the Savage Orcs. The steam tank is going to savage them. That's a good call. Savage Orcs are going to be terrible against the steam tank. Even with the triple gold chevron, their leadership seems to falter. Look at this, 562 kills on this steam tank. 445 on the other. Nice job here, terrifying the Savage Orcs. What a play. Power bar creeping back for the Fort Soll defenders. Outnumbered still 5-1. Just gonna get you a quick look. Let's see what happens with the defenders last stand. I think they're gonna pull this off. The power bar, I think, is actually could be much more favorable to them at the moment. I still haven't seen a steam shot. Maybe they don't continue to get to fire their steam weapon indefinitely, because I haven't seen a steam shot come off of that one. I wonder if it's just if they have ammunition, it'll fire the steam turret, because this one I've seen still firing the steam turret. Unless this one just has fire at will turned off, which I guess is possible. I wanted to say the steam turret will fire indefinitely, but could be wrong. So these zombies getting shreked. But look at this, though. Free Company Militia totally gone. So there's very few defenders left. So the power bar, that is not going to help things. You're just left with the two tanks. And I think these defensive stakes are actually counting as a unit right now in the numbers, because really it's just the two steam tanks. They are crumbling the leadership of the Tithe zombies, and these other remaining zombies are going to be absolutely awful at doing anything to the steam tank. And then the biggest worry for the Savage Orcs, which I think is the last hope here for the attackers, is that the Savage Orcs are going to be very susceptible to terror. Yeah, the zombies just getting crapped on. Yep, immediate terror out for the Savage Orcs. And that puts the power bar in favor and over the top. And once Aspiring Amoeba does it, folks, he does it. He defends Fort Soll in an epic fashion down to the last two steam tanks. So the defenders of Fort Soll here racking up an absolutely tremendous number of kills. I'll put together a kill count maybe in the comments as we go here, but you can see the number of losses versus how many were remaining. So that's going to give us a kill count, plus we could total up what's on the units over here. I mean, very nice use of the rocket battery. I loved how he waited with his elite units as long as possible before engaging them. Nice use of the Hellblaster volley gun, lots of kills. As far as the difficulty of this army, I mean, the sheer numbers of it, I think, created a level of difficulty here. Obviously, the AI pathfinding with this many units does not create a really high level of difficulty, but I have to give him credit because of how long he had to stay in melee with a lot of units, and that is really challenging in the end. And as far as the number of kills per unit deployed, I mean, that's a pretty good figure here. In fact, I'm going to total up some of these real quick, and then we'll just we'll go through it. So if I'm using the losses and remaining up here on the top, which remember, some of these units may be healed or something afterwards, I mean, that's a pretty good efficiency in terms of what happened. There was let's see, it was 10,794 losses for the attacking team. So the defenders killed 10,794 units. When you work that out, that's a enemy death divided by friendly deaths is 11.9. So that should mean 11.9 enemy losses per loss. of a friendly. So, I mean, that's going to be basically his efficiency rating there, according to the stats. Obviously, you could add stuff up on these other ones, might be a little trickier, but really almost no units doing much of anything, but a few of these Grave Guard getting some kills here. But I'll let you all weigh in on this. Tell me what you think of his army and his victory here. He's obviously the only submittal right now, so if you want a really good shot at a $100 gift card, you should start making a submittal to this contest, because I really am going to give someone the gift card, and if Once Inspiring Amoeba is the only one who does it, he's going to get a really easy $100 gift card here, and he's got a pretty good win. So you all should definitely come in and compete on this, because I'm actually serious. I'm gonna give away the prize regardless of whether even just one person submits it. And honestly, I really enjoyed this. This is a pretty cool take. That is a lot of troops to defend against. And I also kind of like how it's been somewhat thematic to the campaign. We fought a lot of vampires, we fought a lot of greenskins, and we have fought a few Skaven along the way too. Be curious to see whether anybody puts some chaos stuff up here. Now, obviously, in pure kill count, if you start putting more monstrous units and stuff in here, it's going to be a lower pure kill count, but I am going to give people credit for the difficulty that those might add, because if you don't have the right ammunition for them, you're going to be in a very tough spot. But overall, very nice performance here by Once Inspiring Amoeba. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you go submit your attempt at the Fort Soll challenge if you want to get your hands on that $100 Steam gift card. Otherwise, Once Inspiring Amoeba is going to be having a very nice Christmas indeed when it comes to games. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back soon with some more Total War Warhammer 2 action.